good morning, welcome. This morning I'm going to be introducing a tool that you can take and use in the classroom. It's called Nearpod. So Nearpod is a way to create an interactive learning experience. You have access to thousands of already created lessons on the website, or else you can create your own, customize it for your students. There's a lot of interactive elements that you can put on your Nearpod presentation or interactive classroom experience, things like virtual field trips, 3D images, quizzes, polls, open-ended questions, interactive activities, kind of sky's the limit. There's 3 ways you can use Nearpod. You can use it in a flipped classroom model. You can use it at a student-paced lesson, as a student-paced lesson, or you can do a live session with the teacher, which is what we're going to do today. So the way Nearpod works is the teacher, if we're going to do the live lesson, a teacher is going to share the lesson, you're going to enter a code, and then the lesson gets synced to all the devices. One of the great things about Nearpod for you as a teacher is that it is an instant assessment tool for you. So at the end of a Nearpod lesson, you can print out a report of how the students interacted with the lesson. And then you actually are seeing live how the students are answering or whether they're participating at all. So today I'm going to take you through a live lesson. You get to experience it from a student perspective. So what you'll need to do is, if you have the Nearpod app, that's one way you can access Nearpod. If you don't have the Nearpod app, you can go to your search browser and just search for nearpod.com. So I'll give you a second to do that.
You say nearpod.com?
Yes. Yeah, and if you're on the website, that's fine too. I'm gonna kind of turn my computer around because I want to show you what you might see. So you are either, if you're going to be on the app, go ahead and select join. If you're on the website, go ahead and at the top, just stay on that home page, but go to the top. Both of you will see the option to enter a code. I'm going to give you that code. So as the teacher, I'm going to just go to the Nearpod website. I have an account. I have already pre-selected a lesson from Nearpod. And this is the code that you'll enter. SXWGU.
SXWGU?
Yes. And then go ahead and say go. So, all right, now it should take you to a screen where you get to enter in your name. This is a good time to kind of mentor your students in protecting their personal information. So use a first name only. No one has to have an account to use Nearpod, at least as far as the students go. That again goes a step further in protecting student privacy, student data. All right, is everybody on? All right, so on your screen, after you enter your name, you should have a little green screen that says complete the sentence. So that's the lesson that we're going to do today. Of course, from my end, I'm kind of in control. The lesson is synced to all of your devices. In this lesson, you as the students, we're going to identify nouns and verbs in this lesson. So we're going to do a little warm-up. This is where it becomes interactive. All right, so on your screen, you should now see in the top left corner a video. Go ahead and click on the video, watch it briefly, maybe up to just 10 or 15 seconds. I'll give you a chance to do that. So go ahead and click on the play button.
Let's start becoming familiar with our parts.
You can even turn the sound off because it's really just going to demonstrate what is a noun and what is a verb, and then it's going to show you some sentences. So once you see the sentences, you can actually pause your video. And take a look at it real quick because the next part of this lesson on the next screen, it's gonna ask you to identify 2 verbs and 2 nouns. So kind of take a look. You can always go back to the video, but try to identify 2 nouns and 2 verbs from the sentences you see on your screen.
Let's tell you what they are.
No, that's the fun part. So the next part, you're actually going to answer that question. So go ahead, if you have your 2 nouns and your 2 verbs, go ahead and click out of the video. There's an X on the. Yep. So there's 2 options for you as a student to answer that question. You can use your finger to write out your 2 nouns or your 2 verbs. If that is not your preferred way to answer, there's a text box. So you can see the little black circle with the letter T. You can add a text box and type it in if you'd rather.
Is it supposed to just be the nouns right now? Or should I do?
You know, 2 nouns and 2 verbs.
So, where do I find my chalkboard? You got an X.
X out.
Yeah, go ahead and X out of the video.
There you go. Now you write it with your hand.
Oh.
There you go. Seems like really technically challenged.
I don't think my nouns and verbs match from the sentences.
Okay.
Is that-
But you know, that's okay. For our purposes today, we're really, we
It's
figure
along
you
the
know nouns and
sentences.
verbs. We're mostly just trying to get the experience of Nearpod. So now you can see that at the bottom right corner, you can hit submit.
I was one of the, I slept was one of the sentences. Yeah.
So go ahead and hit submit. On the bottom right corner, hit submit. Okay, now, so this is the interactive part. So you as students are submitting your answers, and as the teacher, what I see is who's participating in the class. So everyone who has.
David, I texted. You did not. Look at that.
Because
You did
it's so
not today.
small.
David. Texas.
But this
What
is
is
part
that?
of my assessment tool. I get to make sure that everyone in the class is participating. I get a quick view of, okay, are the students getting it? Do they know what a noun is?
Dog.
Do they know what a verb is?
That's funny. Thank you, Karen. King dog.
All right, I'm gonna move on. This next section is just called Let's Practice. I'm gonna actually skip around because I want you to be able to see kind of a few different activities that are possible within Nearpod. So we're now looking at a screen that it just says, what is a noun? A noun is a person, place, or thing. Here are some examples of nouns. Someone wanna read out the examples at the bottom?
Clock, tree, car, bat.
That's right. So we're gonna practice. This is asking you to work with a partner. We're not gonna do that because I want you to have the hands-on experience with Nearpod. So you are going to circle the verbs in red and the nouns in blue. So the way you change colors is hit the little text or hit the little writing pencil. You can select a color.
Nouns and what? Sorry.
Nouns in
Blue, you said.
nouns in blue, verbs in red,
Nouns and blue.
and you can circle it. Use your finger to circle them. So go ahead and.
It won't let me bring up the screen.
Well, in your case, you can actually work with a partner then.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Tree and red are too.
Well, I thought nouns were red, so now
Oh.
I just.
You know, and students have the opportunity to edit their answer. So even after they submit an answer, actually, David, you probably see on your screen where it says edit answer. So as a student, you know, if you find, oh, I did it wrong, you have that opportunity.
I know my colors.
See that?
So let's take about 5 more seconds and go ahead and submit what you have. And then again, for each interactive activity, I have access to what's happening with it for my students. There is on the next page, the chance for you to check your answers. Make sure you got it right.
Yes.
am gonna skip ahead. There are so many opportunities within Nearpod. This is just one lesson. I am gonna go to the end because there's an opportunity for students to do some self-reflection on the lesson itself. So take a moment and fill out the poll. How do you feel about the skill you just practiced?
Did you say you need more practice?
All right, and then this is the way it looks on my end. So I get to see, you know, how did my students feel about the lesson? This is where teachers,
Confused.
this is where teachers take a look, do I need to reteach? Who got it? Can I move on? Who needs extra help? That sort of thing. So, and then the other great thing with Nearpod, I can now run a report, an assessment report. So that is how Nearpod works. Did you have any questions about it or feedback about this? Can you imagine yourself using this with your students?
What kind of assignments, or what level do the assignments cater to? What grade level?
They're usually, it's listed K through 12, yeah.
Does this work with orchestra?
Of course, you probably learn as an orchestra teacher. Yeah, music theory, maybe you study musicians or, you know, all sorts of different things. So yeah, absolutely. And again, there's lessons that are already pre-planned and thousands of them to choose from, and also the opportunity to just create your own.